Coaches, I want to talk for just a couple minutes about how we deliver our feedback. Research out of the University of Washington's ambitious coaching research found that around 75% of what we do has something to do with delivering feedback to our athletes. That's a massive amount. And when you consider it, it just makes me wonder how much better could we be as coaches and how much better could our athletes get if we got marginally better at giving feedback. There's three things I think are worth highlighting when it comes to giving effective feedback that we need to talk about. The first is that we need to be solution-oriented with our feedback. Our feedback to athletes needs to help them identify solutions to improve. We need to give athletes things that they can act on with our feedback. The second thing is we need to ensure that we are positively framing our feedback. Now, here's what positive framing is. It's talking about mistakes in a way that help athletes see them as opportunities to learn and grow. It's not being soft on mistakes. It's not calling out mistakes. It's recognizing the mistake and actually being glad that we caught it so that we can correct it. An example of this might be that an athlete makes a mistake and you say, I'm so glad you made this mistake, let's fix it now before our game so it doesn't happen then. Or if your team is struggling and continues to make the same mistakes, you might pause the action, you might say, guys, it seems like we're really struggling to do X. We need to do this so that we can fix it. Show me that now. We really need to positively frame our feedback to create an environment where athletes feel safe to make mistakes and recognize the mistakes are opportunities to learn and grow. The third piece of giving more effective feedback is separating the decision from the outcome. A great example of this in basketball is shot selection. Too often, what gets reinforced is an outcome, meaning an athlete takes a shot. Maybe it was heavily contested. They didn't have a lot of room. It really wasn't a great shot, but it goes in and everyone celebrates. The coach applauds. They say, great shot, even though it really wasn't a good decision to shoot it. On the flip side of that, feedback that reinforces the decision would recognize, hey, that's not the shot we want to take. Instead, feedback that reinforces the decision is willing to tell athletes when they miss a good shot to keep shooting it. For example, if your athlete catches it and shoots it and they have a ton of space and they're a good shooter, you should tell them to keep shooting it, even if they missed. We want them to continue to make the correct decision and reinforce that over the make or miss or the single outcome of an event. The next piece that I think is really important for us to talk about with feedback for a couple minutes is what I like to call FFA feedback. Now, this is feedback that we deliver during stoppages. A stoppage is just any stop in live play or your drill that you make to deliver feedback. Coaches make stoppages all the time, and unfortunately, many of them are very ineffective. Here's a simple framework that can help you deliver better feedback in your stoppages. I call it FFA feedback. The first F stands for fast. The second F stands for focus, and the third F stands for aligned. Fast feedback is when I make a stoppage, I deliver the information in about 30 seconds or less, and then I get athletes playing again. That's fast feedback. One of the keys to giving fast feedback is having a really clear stoppage routine. A stoppage routine is just how you stop play and how you resume it, and you do it consistently every time. My favorite example of this is just blowing one long whistle. I talk to my athletes and say, guys, when you hear one long whistle, that means you should stop and freeze immediately where you are. Another thing that I'll use sometimes is the word freeze. Guys, if you hear me yell freeze, stop right where you are, give me your full attention so I can deliver feedback. I usually end my stoppage by saying ready, set, go, or ready, set, play. It just signals to them in a consistent way that now we're back into play. So the first F is we need to be fast with our stoppage feedback. The second one is focused. Focus means that when we make a stoppage and deliver feedback, we need to deliver feedback on one thing. One thing, our brain's capacity to hold information is extremely limited. We do not want to overload our athletes' minds and their working memory. We can avoid doing that by giving one piece of feedback during stoppages. One way that can help you deliver more focused feedback is just doing what we call exemplar planning on your practice plan template. That means writing down beforehand the 1 to 3 things max that you're looking for or observing for in that segment of practice. What's the focus here? Once you know your focus, you'll be able to give better feedback and stay focused when you make a stoppage. One of the worst things we can do is make a stoppage and deliver 5 or 6 pieces of information and then tell athletes to go play from there. It's too much, they're not going to remember any of it, and we're not going to be able to observe for it when we go back to play. The last piece is aligned. Aligned feedback is making sure that our live feedback syncs up with the feedback we just gave during a stoppage. For example, if you make a stoppage and you tell athletes that you want to see them do X, when you resume play, you need to deliver live feedback on X. If you tell athletes you want to focus on them finishing off of 2 feet or playing off 2 feet off the rim, you need to be giving feedback on that when play resumes. Aligned feedback is the key because we really want to make sure that the feedback we deliver is applied. If it's not applied, they're not going to learn it. We've got to make sure during stoppages we deliver fast, focused, and aligned feedback if we want athletes to get better faster.